Hi. I am so excited to talk to you about the work of Christina Berkeley. She is both a dear friend and a phenomenal peer in many of the therapeutic spaces in which I am a shamanic practitioner, as well as a somatic and touch therapist. I'm not a therapist, a somatic therapist, but I'm a somatic practitioner and touch therapist. I specialize in trauma-informed care, so a lot of really high emotional stake situations with people who are entrusting me with really vulnerable, altered states of consciousness. Before my work, I should say I've been in these fields for 14 years professionally. And before my work with Christina, I was holding off on stepping into a pretty big evolution in my personal practice and what I was allowing myself to make available to people in deep need and to clients that were wanting a certain depth of provision from me. I also have experienced personal transformations in my life that are pretty significant and made some just astronomical leaps that I really feel have only been possible because of the coursework and the way that Christina has led the space, but also in the skills that it's imparted in me as a practitioner to be able to move forward in the world. Before I found her work, I was desperately looking for courses that would take someone without a psychology degree or without a master's, but to be able to learn how to work in therapeutic modalities with the subconscious mind, particularly in really malleable states of neurogenesis and neuroplasticity. So pretty arduously trying to figure out how to quickly get a master's degree on an online university kind of program. I was just looking for someone who would be able to impart these skills, but more so be able to impart the values of integrity and being an ethical practitioner in this work. I live in Los Angeles. This is a pretty saturated spiritual wellness market out here, and I see a lot of people prematurely stepping into these roles of leadership without having the foundational work to do so in a way that I feel is responsible to the people that are entrusting us with their care and their most sensitive inner terrain. The thing that I think sets DCMP apart, this program Christina has put together based on the work of Milton Erickson and generative trance hypnosis. Out here, things like NLP are super popular, as well as things like IFS and internal family systems. I think the work that I experienced here with generative trance is actually the foundational work that a lot of these modalities are derived from, but also dilutions of. I think this is a much more holistic and integral modality that helps a practitioner navigate the archetypal narrative infrastructure of a person's most intimate inner terrain, their belief systems, their ideologies, things that they've inherited externally, but also the quiet conversations that exist within the corridors of their own mind, whether or not they're privy to those occurrences happening. And even more so, it allows me as the practitioner to walk that terrain with them and help them reorient around it, recontextualize it with a wider breadth, and having more resources, but from their own inner deep intelligence. I think it emphasizes client and participant sovereignty in a way that I haven't experienced before. It also helps me move through the space in a white glove kind of way. I feel like it really eliminates a lot of the risks and dangers that I see with other people in this work, which is a lot of leaving our own impression in a person's inner terrain. I feel like this has eliminated the fingerprints of my ideas or my belief systems because we're continually turning to a client's authentic expression and deep matrices of truth. And I think there's a profundity and a depth that goes far beyond a person's own lifetime that I've personally experienced in this work, and I've been able to facilitate other people experiencing in this work. And that to me feels invaluable. I think this training is not just important, I think it's imperative for this cultural shift that we're in, whether you're a sound healer, whether you're leading breath work, whether you're doing men's work, women's work, grief counseling, whatever it is that you're doing, if you're working narratively, if you're working with a person's mental frameworks and you don't have clinical expertise, and even if you do, I think this is an invaluable supplement to your skill set. Because it's relational, because it's using the most primordial parts of our brain, which is limbic resonance. This is how we evolved as humans to connect socially out of empathy and compassion, but continually turning to a person's own wisdom as the guiding compass to their own personal development. I've told every practitioner that I know that this work is necessary. I mean, I've been kind of hard about it. Like, guys, you really need to do this if you're going to move in the world in a good way. And I fully believe that with every fiber of my being. as soon as I started this training, I felt like each module that we went through and each session gave me enough skill set. We go through, it's an intimate container, so I really felt like we got to have personal one-on-one care. Christina also had adjunct support with student teachers in the course as well. We really got to know each other as a cohort. There was a lot of support outside of class with just a group chat and a lot of practice time together. She even put together our own textbook as well as other supplementary reading. So at no point did I feel like I was wanting for more resources in this course. And I immediately felt available, or I immediately felt the skills available within myself to apply in my own practice. And when I did, I mean, I was pretty spectacular before this work. And I say that as like, this is the feedback that I get time and time again from people who have tremendous experiences, but the order of magnitude in which I experienced people being able to journey, being able to catharsize, being able to grip and handle their own untethered wild self, areas within themselves that they were so intimidated by, they didn't even know how to approach, they felt were monstrous, they felt were too timid or too wild or too big. We were able to establish not just a relational concept, but true synthesis. And that just, I've just seen such beautiful moments that I've just been holding space for by asking the right questions, by having the right orientation of presence, and truly using the membrane of my somatic being as a way of feeling deeply into what another person is experiencing and going through. And I think one of my favorite parts of this work is I don't need to cognitively know or understand what a person's going through. So there's a privacy that I think a lot of people feel supported by and safe within, that we can respect and allow to continue in the work while still offering the opportunity for deeply catalyzed change. And I don't think it's necessarily about change per se, as it is about having an inner network, like it's like the night sky and all the constellations twinkling together. A person has access to all of themselves with synarchic fluency and cohesion and coherence within their system as a whole. And I think that's just, this is what I've been looking for. This is what I've been looking for over the last 10 years as a practitioner, before feeling like I could really integrate body, mind, and spirit together. And so much of this has helped me with the mind component. And even though it comes from the Western world, Christina as a practitioner is just such a beautiful example of like the corpus callosum. It's very much her lived wisdom, her attunements, both as an intellectual, a spiritualist, somebody who's really curious about what it means to be human. And she brings a really tender touch to a really rigorous academic intrigue within her own mind. So I feel like there's a lot of science supporting what she does, but there's a lot of personal lived experience and wisdom that she brings to the table, as well as a really deeply connected sense to the spiritual nature of life. So again, I cannot recommend this enough. I hope, for the sake of us all, that more and more people turn to this modality in particular to help bolster their skill set and really offer lasting and foundational change to people's lives, but to do so in a way that is in right relationship and profound integrity and ethical practice. Yeah, it's like we don't need to leave our footprints in the snow. And yeah, I'm just so appreciative and so lucky to know such an incredible practitioner out in the world. And I hope all of you who come to this program just find the tremendous light years of change that can happen in a single session, both for yourselves and for the people that you hold space for.